Hello and Happy New Year to all. I just finished a project and I thought, I want to share some of these tips and techniques with my fellow scrapbooking friends. I have finished the pages of my mother-in-law's memorial. Unfortunately, we lost her in the January of 2020. Now these pages are way overdue to be finished, but I want to talk about what I've done with them. All right, so I start out, this is her 92nd birthday, and just a few days later, we lost her. And I wanted to create pages to memorialize her, and so that her children, her youngest being my husband, as well as her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they could all know her story. So in here, I've got interactive bits that tell the story of what happened as she was preparing to pass. Do you see this QR code? I do this a lot. Before she passed, several years before she passed, my oldest son wanted to capture her oral history. So he and my husband sat Grandma down and asked her a series of questions, and she provided the answers and the stories about her growing up in Newfoundland and marrying this guy named Potajill and coming to the United States. And she just talked about a lot of the memories of her growing up, her as a young mother, and going forward. What I did was I took the audio, and that's all it was just audio. I shouldn't say I did it. My daughter took the audio and put it to video with photos from her life throughout the different stages that she was describing in the audio oral history. And this is the reason that these pages are so long overdue, is because between my daughter graduating college, having her first job, everything being super busy, it took a long time to get this audio set to video, but she was able to do it, and then she sent me the file, and I was able to upload it to my YouTube channel, and I was able to get the website, the link to that video, and I made a QR code that when you scan this with a smartphone camera, it will lead you to the video and audio file. So this little square right here took a couple years in the making. Now, I didn't want us to be the only ones that had access to this. I've got very interactive pages. I've got her memorial card and lots of other things that I've tucked into pockets, flaps, etc. All right, how many of you do this and you want to share it, but you don't want to go to the expense of buying all the paper collections again? Maybe you even can't buy your paper collections, but you still want to share. This is a beautiful story that my brother-in-law Jim wrote, and read it to the family as we celebrated her life. What I have been doing for many years now is I scan these pages. These are 12 by 12s, and the process of scanning them can be kind of tricky. You have to have a large format flatbed scanner, or you have to have one of the older scanner models that has like a 17-inch long scanning bed. Most of the printers that most of the scanners that you find today are only like 11.5, and it doesn't get as much of the scan surface as you need. So if you're interested in scanning, perhaps there are other online programs that could scan your pages for you, but I have purchased a large format flatbed scanner, and I'll see about linking it below with the scanner that I have. Always before, I had an old scanner that was 17 inches long, and then I don't remember how wide it was. It wasn't wide enough to scan a full 12 by 12. So I would scan one side, then I'd flip it over on the bed and I'd scan the other side. And in Photoshop Elements, I would literally stitch the two sides together, and it made perfect pages that I could print in 12 by 12. Well, when I print 12 by 12, I want to show you the comparison. I use a company called Persnickity Prints, and they, in my opinion, are the best. They have these sales where I can buy print credits. So I'll buy, I think they come in packs of 50. I can pre-buy 50 12 by 12 pages for like $1.50 a piece. Heaven forbid you can't even reprint the photos for that amount of money in most cases. But I'm showing you, this is my original page, and this is one of the prints from Persnickity Prints. The colors, sometimes they're off a little bit, but gosh, I think these are spot on. Okay, so I make the prints and even the interactive parts. Now this is these are copies of the pages that I created. Here's my QR code. Here's my interactive bits. And what I do is I'll just take a scan of my different pieces and I'll put them all on a 12 by 12 in Photoshop Elements. And when I fill up or nearly fill up a 12 by 12, I have it printed, and then I can just cut out my elements. Even something like this, I scan the images and put them on a 12 by 12 blank background in Photoshop Elements, and then when they arrive, I simply cut them out and glue them back to back. Here are more elements that I made through Photoshop Elements. Okay, now come on. And then, like this pocket, oh, this is a tricky piece of paper to get out of here. Okay. So I take a slice out of the top of the pocket, and then I glue a piece of paper to back it so that it's obvious where the pocket is. And then I make slits in my sheet protectors that allow me to use the interactive parts of the layout. I hope I'm not jiggling the camera. I'm trying to straddle it and work at the same time. Okay? So all of these, and I've made, I think, 10 or 11 of each page to share with family members. And I just recreate the interactive portions. And back here, I have a big pocket where we've got that beautiful story that Jim wrote. All right, I just wanted to share, see the back of this? I just built a big pocket and it slides right down in. All right, I just wanted to share some tips and tricks for when you do your amazing 12 by 12 pages and you want to share your work, your story, the history with other people. It's actually very doable without going out and having to buy all the material again, print all the pictures again, and taking the time to recreate all your layouts. All right, happy crafting.